She's fine. She's all right. No injuries. Okay. Hello. So I want to talk to you all about Geeta Tandon, Geetatandon. I'm going to update my description to have. This is from what I'm going to tell you is from the India Post. I'll tell you a little bit about my personal experiences, but we'll talk about her personal experiences as well. So I'll put the link below in the description after this live posting. So Geeta Tandon is an Indian stunt woman. She's 34, I believe. And when she started out, um, well, when she started out, she was 10. She got married from an arranged marriage in India. She's an Indian citizen. Beautiful woman. And she's an Indian citizen who her father arranged a marriage between her and a man who was 25. So she was, I believe she was 15 and the man was 25. So they got arranged to get married. This was, I would say it was probably back in the 90s. So in the 1990s, she got married. And you would think, her perspectives of marriage was you'd have a glass of milk together and then you go to bed. I'm not sure much about Indian culture, to be honest with you, but I do know that it's one of those things where it's like, like Jewish ceremonies, Filipino ceremonies, Japanese ceremonies. There's all kinds of traditions. There's all kinds of differences. Um, but for Geeta or Geeta, I'll call her Geeta. I'm not sure which one is right. For Geeta, it was a rough road. The man was abusive. He would smash her head against the wall. He would force sex on her. He would, you know, just pull on her, give her bruises, give her a bloody lip. The typical thing. Um, the night of the honeymoon, an Indian honeymoon is different, right? But for us Americans, for American honeymoons, it's usually about sex, going to a hotel, going to a resort, going to Hawaii, going to the Bahamas, going to the Himalayas, and having sex and consummating the marriage. Well, for Geeta, she wanted it differently. Her in-laws, the father, the husband's family, beat the crap out of her. They physically beat the shit out of her. And that was tough. It was one of those things where it was like she didn't have a choice. Indian women are to be seen and not heard. In America, we have a feeling about that. But in India, it's different over there. If Indian women are married, they're supposed to keep their mouth shut. They're not supposed to say a word. I never understand some of these feminists that want to keep the hijab and the burqa when those things are a symbol of women being seen and not heard and abused in a Muslim community. In an Indian community, it's almost the same way. It's not formally Muslim. It's their religion. I'm sorry, got that. Their religion is Hindu. However, it's like, um, sorry, it's hard to hold this camera. It's hard to talk to you. She went through a lot. Now, she had 2 children with this man. She was about 19, and she had 2 children, a son and a daughter, with this abusive man. This man beat the shit out of her, forced sex on her, tell her, go to the store 20 minutes and you better come back home in 20 minutes kind of attitude. One day, he beat the shit out of her too many times, and she said, fuck this, I've had enough. She almost suffered head trauma. I mean, he just smashed her against the walls. And Geeta said, fuck this, I'm out. I'm going to leave. And Geeta Tandon took her two kids. I'm not sure, they might have been like little kids at the time. So she took them and she left. And she fucked off. She went to the police station, but the police wouldn't help her. So there was no formal note. There was no permission to get a divorce. There was no uh, affidavit, nothing. She just took her kids and fucked off. She left. She had enough. She said, bye bye. This marriage is over. I'm done. I don't want to be abused. I don't want to be beaten up. I don't want to be forced sex upon. I don't want your family. I don't want your in-laws, my in-laws, to beat the crap out of me. My father made a mistake getting me married to you when I was 15, and I left. So she took her kids. She got a job. Um, it was sort of a at the canteen, sort of a I'm not sure if it was a waitress or a barista, but she made 1,200 rupees. That's $16 an hour. $16. I think it was $16 a month. Okay, 16 US dollars a month. 1,200 rupees. Rupees, Rupees. So that was her job, working, busting tables, cooking food, serving the patrons when you had hard workers, like hard laborers. And let me stretch my arm a little bit. So they would work, she would do this kind of work, okay, busting tables, working part-time jobs. She was getting different offers, some for brothels, some to strip, prostitution, all kinds of offers, okay? And one offer she got was to do dancing for an establishment. She was to like a belly dancer, like a professional dancer. Okay, nothing X-rated in our American perspective. So she didn't do anything really harsh. She would work her jobs, take care of the kids, lock those kids up tight in their homes, and go to work. Just make sure that the babies are safe, go to work, come back home, open the door, the kids are home. That's how her job would go. And someone saw when she was dancing, it was like she was dancing with passion, with force, with brutality. She would leap and she would go around. Like the way she would dance for the establishment, for professional business people and such. She would dance with fluidity. And for that, someone said, you got to do stunts. You got to do stunt work. So that's what she's doing, is stunt work, right? She started out small and then she worked her way around. She is now one of 12 people in the Movie Stunt Artists Association. That's sort of the equivalent of, you say, the Taurus Awards or the stunt. In America, we have SAG and AFTRA and non-union actors and performers and such. Okay, SAG, AFTRA. In India, they have the MSAA, the Movie Star Artists Association. There's only 12 women. There's like 580 something men, but there's only 12 women, and she's very famous. They just know her. It's not just about the actor she's doubling for. It's her. They know Geeta, and Geeta's done everything from sword play to guns to getting on motorcycles to fighting, of course, to jumping out windows and jumping off roofs and rolling around in fire and all kinds of stuff. She suffered a spinal cord injury, and I think she was in bed for 4 months. So there is gain in pain. I think that's her phrase. There is pain in gain. She's endured, not just from the harsh upbringings of her family. I don't know if her father was abusive. It doesn't say in the article in India Post. But I imagine she suffered some kind of abuse from her family somewhere. And when she saw that coming out of her husband, she just had enough. She had enough of that shit. So she stands on her own 2 feet and she takes care of herself. She is well known in India. I hope one day, Geeta, that you can come to America and do some American stunts. Martin Scorsese, Rob Zombie, J.J. Abrams, any up and coming directors. We'd like to see your talents over here. I give praise to stunt performers, mostly in America, every single day. Uh, and even after 2018, I'm going to continue to report on more stunt people. So, Geeta Tandon, my heart is out to you. Uh, what I want everyone to take from this is that this is a true feminist. She's not there to push ideologies or virtue signal or push a political agenda. Geeta Tandon just wants to do what she wants to do. And if somebody tries to force her against her will or against her gender or against her height or age or color to say she can't be a stunt woman, she's going to wave the finger at you and she's going to tell you to get lost because she or he or anyone can do what they want. No one. You know, in my personal life, my father was physically abusive to me. He's dead now. And when he died, I did not shed a tear. My uncle Pablo died uh, 2 years ago of a heart attack. I did not shed a tear. The man abused my aunt, his wife, and he was abusive indirectly towards his sons. His sons joined gangs. My cousins were in gangs. My father abused me and my sisters. I suffered bullying at school, and I know what it's like. Um, when you see someone you love getting abused by someone, that's someone who does not love themselves right now. And Geeta Tandon did not love herself in the beginning of her life, and she that unexpected variable, when she decided to kind of do things, when she decided to take life in her own hands, someone said, "Hey, you should be a stunt woman. Try it. If you don't like it, you don't like it." The first stunt she did was about dancing, and she literally got burned on her face, but she didn't cry. It didn't bother her. I mean, she was mad, sure, but she didn't take it personally because it wasn't getting burned in the face for a movie was not the same as getting hit by her husband, by her ex-husband. It was a different feeling. It was a rush for her. And some people can handle it. I don't think I could really handle being a stunt person, but who knows? I mean, maybe later on I'll do a little bit, if I ever want to. But I think I'm just fine reporting on people who are successful. So whether it's somebody who's getting abused now, help them. Help that person, especially if they're women, but men get abused by women somehow. I mean, it doesn't happen honestly. Men don't get hit by women and they don't do anything about it. It's just that sometimes a man's soul is broken by women, and sometimes that happens too. So, women hit other women in lesbian couples or, sibling abuse. It's got to stop. And we've got to move forward. And if Geeta Tandon can do this, anybody can. So, hats off to you, Geeta, and we'll see you at the movies, maybe next year. And we hope you can get at least one Taurus Award.